table and I am working on quarter 2 plans. We just finished week 10, so our first week in our second quarter, and assessing our first quarter. A couple things that I've learned for myself is that while I love and appreciate the flexibility that homeschooling allows, I also have to be careful that I don't use that as a crutch to let our days just kind of unfold, like within reason, I definitely want to chase rabbit trails with the kids if there's something that sparks their interest, or, being ready to change gears really fast if needed, because something comes up or we need to, run a errand that has to be done right then, whatever. Anyways, but I want to make sure that I have some sort of accountability for myself too, because I want to build good habits in our boys and not be too lackadaisical, if you will. So I am actually taking the layout that in years past we've done the Charlotte Mason approach to education, and we still use quite a bit of that. It's just kind of modified and evolved with what best serves our family. But what is that website called? That it's free. I can't think of it for the life of me right now. But anyways, they have these like printable, they call them terms because they do 12-week terms where I'm doing 9-week quarters. So that setup of the spreadsheets that they use is really nice, and it just kind of sets a chunk of your curriculum that you're using for the week. And then what I did before is I would use a colored pencil and shade in the week that we've accomplished and that we've ticked off all those goals. And so that was just a simple way to lay everything out for me, so it didn't take tons of time to write in every single lesson and so on and so forth, but it just gives me a big picture of what our goals are for that back then term, but this time quarter. So I didn't do that for the first quarter, and I was thinking did we get behind, whatever. We're really not too far off. I'm actually quite pleased. And so I'm laying out our second quarter. And so yeah, I thought I would do a plan with me video and let you kind of see how this is going to unfold for me. And I can't tell you that it's tried and true, but I can tell you that this is what I'm going to do. And then at the end of the quarter, I can let you know how it served our family and how it served me. And if it was a success, then we'll continue, or if I need to make some adjustments for the third quarter. So anyways, let's get it done. Got everything put in for our second quarter. I left religion and art, and then I have STEM down here as some of our electives. Underneath phys ed, we've just started karate this week, which is our week 10. It's our first week in our second quarter, and it's going really good. I think it's the perfect investment for our 3 boys. And then I'm actually participating with them. And so I'm really enjoying getting to share this whole experience, not just with them, but really with them. But anyways, I didn't put anything for religion, art, or STEM because these are kind of things that evolve with what we're doing. So we don't do like pre-planned art projects, or if we do, there's something like, hey, I really want to try this concept with you guys, this medium, or replicate this art, painting or drawing or whatever. But our boys are so creatively driven that they are constantly coming up with their own ideas of things to do. They are constantly asking to do drawing tutorials on YouTube, or wanting to make things. And so art and STEM projects are just a natural bend that our three boys have. And so I want to be able to maybe add in some planned things as we go, things that pop out in front of me. Or I just bought a book called Art Lab for Kids, and it has some really awesome ideas in it. So I might pull from there and pop some of those projects in, because we also like to have some beautiful planned pieces, like our ocean art projects that we did last quarter that turned out so wonderful. So if there's other art projects that I'm wanting them to try and do, then I'll be able to just jot those in on my paper. So I just sent it to the printer. I'm going to go grab it and take a look and see if I need to make any revisions. And then I have our second quarter planned out, and then I just have to go in each week like I've done and fill in the individual lessons and things that that we have done. And I actually can't wait to show you, because I changed my planner. I bought that Ultimate Homeschool Planner, and I do really like it, but in Missouri we have to log hours, and I was already having to come up with a different way to, track our daily hours apart from our planning pages. And so I actually just made my own planner, and I'll show you that here in just a minute. And here it is. So the writing is very tiny, but that's okay, because that's just for me to read. And this is again to just serve as my guide for our quarter. So what lessons should our goal be to be in that week? I know that there are going to be things that happen, and we maybe don't finish lesson 5 in this unit, and it kind of throws us off a little bit. But I also know there will be weeks, especially as we get going into like the holiday season, where we only do school like 2 times a week, or then another week it's 3 days a week. And so it all comes out in the wash, and I have had to learn to adjust my thinking to that. And so, but again, this is just to give me that like goal sheet and something to kind of stem everything in our weekly planning off of. Okay, so here is my planner that I made for our family. There's going to be a terrible glare because of the light over our kitchen table, but on the pages it shouldn't be so bad. So I made the cover page, laminated it, and then I just took this to the printer and had all of my pages bound. They got it a little offset, but that's okay because it's still functional. So I made like a little notes page. If there's ideas, things that I want to jot down, then I can kind of keep them right here. I've been using this planner for about 3 weeks. Apparently I haven't had any grand ideas that I've wanted to write down, but it's there for me, right? So then I just did another laminated page to section it off, and this is where I am tracking our daily hours. So it goes to landscape profile here, and then I just have the dates, the 1st through the 31st, because little months are a little different. And then so I just go each week and I jot in our time for each of our core subjects and then our electives. And then over here I do my totals. So total core, non-core, and then these circled ones are if we do things away from our main learning space, which is home. We have to note that because we can't have so much, away from home, which isn't typically a problem. And then year-to-date totals, so I can keep track of our year-to-date. And then, so there's August, September, and then we're starting in October. I also added some goal pages for me to write down. This is something I want to be better about, and actually making goals, and for myself especially, and then for our children. So academic goals, personal goals, spiritual goals, things like that, to just give us some targets and some specific drivers for our learning for that month. So yeah, sharing this with you now, reminding me that I did this, I need to sit down and think about some goals. So we're 1 week into October, and after this I'll be tracking, adding in our hours that we've done so far for October. So the next section is my planner, and I just made these weekly spread pages. So right now, I only do I'm only really stressing about lesson plans for my oldest because he has the heavier workload, and he's a 5th grader, and so I definitely want to make sure I stay very detailed in what we're doing for him and for my benefit. And then my 1st grader, he is still under the compulsory age for our state. So we do school, and I jot down the things that we're doing. And, but then so next year I'll have 2, compulsory students. And so I haven't decided if I'm going to continue to write all of them down in one box or what that will look like, because I also don't know what all of our curriculum choices will look like for next year. But having this layout for all on one page, because then this doesn't take up a whole big section on the table when I'm wanting to jot things down. And so then also we plan ahead, but then things happen, and so I have to go in and make adjustments. So the ones that are in pen are because I transposed them from my old planner, but in pencil is what I use for my planning now, because that flexibility of being able to erase and edit and make adjustments as needed. So yeah, and this has worked out really well, and I just have our subjects. So we do Bible devotions and use it for it's integrated in a lot of our subjects as well. And then our oldest son has just started Bible drill, so he'll have that for practice every day. And then our character building, our 24 family ways that we're doing. History, science, language, math, reading. So there's our core subjects. And then extracurriculars just in one little box over here. And I just jot down the things that we do. This one is typically planned from behind, where I write in what they did that day as opposed to planning out extracurriculars, because it's the things that they would choose to fill their day with. Actually, we finish our core subjects, and then the boys get to wander off into what they're wanting to pursue for the day. So for our oldest, it usually looks like tinkering and building things out of whatever he can rummage from somewhere in the house. Our middle son, it usually looks like drawing and doing YouTube tutorials for art. And our youngest is somewhere between going along with one of his other brother's plans or getting into his own little mess of things, or pestering one of his brothers in their plans. So this is kind of what I've laid out for this week that we're wrapping up, and then I'll go back in and fill in other things that were accomplished and done. And then I'll sit down and jot out our best laid plans for the next week. Look at that blank slate, ready to be filled with all kinds of awesomeness. The next section I put in my planner is tracking our read alouds, just to write them down, like what we've read. It's kind of sad we've only done 2 books this last quarter, but we've done other things too. My oldest has some of these are elective and some of them are assigned reading that he's done. And then this is the end of my planner, and I just put Colossians 3:12-17 on there. Whatever you do in word or deed, do everything in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God the Father through him. So that's that. That's my little planner that I made. It's perfectly functional. It's a great size, easy for me to use, completely tailored for our family and how we homeschool. And I love it. So that is that. That is how I've shifted from original planning to what we're doing now. My awesome planner that I made, if I do say so myself. It's awesome because it fits me and our family. And I'm excited to have this week quarter kind of planning tracker and goal setter for me, and that accountability to not be so easily bent away from our responsibilities. It's all balance. You know, I enjoy the freedom and flexibility that we have as homeschoolers, but I also have a wonderful responsibility to make sure that I am providing a quality education for our boys. And I've done my due diligence as their parent to select curriculum and make decisions that my husband and I feel will best serve our children in the age that they're in. I have been fortunate to have tried a good handful of different curriculums over the last 4 years and let them teach me what works and doesn't work for our family, as well as also knowing that our curriculum selections are tools for us to use. They're not something that we are slaves to, which I think is a very important thing that home educating parents should know. While at the same time knowing that because a curriculum is published a certain way doesn't mean that it has to be utilized specifically that way. So, making tweaks and adjustments as needed here and there that get the job done, but in a way that actually connects with us and our children. I just, my assessment of myself this year and that first quarter is that I want a little bit more of the focus and the accountability of making sure that we are in some ways checking those boxes, but also maintaining that sense of spontaneity and fueling curiosity and being willing to be flexible and go down those rabbit trails and embracing the adventure of sharing a book together or going somewhere together. And let me just say the going somewhere together. So that is something that I'm truly missing, is the field trips aspect that we had. And I'm at a point now, I'm so flippant actually, because I'm ready to go. We have an awesome aquarium by us, and we've had season passes to that before, and we're doing all these swimming creatures of the 5th day for science, and it would be so wonderful to go and journal and draw and learn and fill in other pieces by seeing these animals up close. And I want to buy the season pass, and then I think all of these mandates and restrictions, and you have to make reservations and all these things. And then with the election, who knows what's going to happen? And it's not a cheap investment to buy this season pass. What do I do? Do I do it? Do I wait? What do I do? I'm not sure yet. but I'm thinking that we will probably do that because it's getting colder, and it's nice to have fun things that you can go do. You know, our fun in the warm season is to go to the creek and go to the pool and all of that. And so now that we're in the cold season, we kind of need a fun place to go. We also have a really cool discovery center for science that we've done before. Those might be things that I put on our list here very soon. So anyways, that was a thinking out loud tangent, and I think I've said about all I need to say about my current planning situation. So thanks for bearing with me and listening to all my rambling, and we'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe.